First, I'm going to turn it over to Erin Hahn, who is a research analyst at Texas HoUSed. And Erin will be given an update on eviction happenings in Texas and also ERA. Erin, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Hahn, and like Renee said, I'm a research analyst with the housing nonprofit group, Texas HoUSed. Thanks to the NLIHC for having me on today to give a field update on the status of ERA and evictions in the state of Texas on this Monday following the expiration of the CDC moratorium. And so Texas HoUSed, like housing groups across the nation, are bracing themselves for a wave of evictions in our state. We do not have a statewide moratorium in Texas, and the majority of our cities don't have local moratoria in place either. So eviction court dockets for this upcoming week appear to already be filling up with many more cases than what was normal under the CDC moratorium, according to observations we've made in our Harris County Eviction Court Watch program. As for a general update for the distribution of emergency rental assistance in Texas, according to the most recent Treasury data from June 30th, the statewide Texas Rent Relief Program had dispersed about 34% of its ERA1 allocation, but that percentage has increased to 47% as of today, according to the program's public-facing dashboard. On the other hand, the performance of our local city and county programs, which there's 36 of across the state, is pretty mixed. They're more difficult to track since for the most part, they don't have dashboards like our statewide program. But according to Treasury's June 30th data, the average local ERA program in Texas had dispersed 19% of its ERA1 funds to households. 10 of the 36 jurisdictions had not begun to disperse any funds. These are mostly programs in smaller or more rural jurisdictions, but some of our major cities like Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, which had dispersed 70, 77, and 77% of their funds respectively, are operating more quickly. And eviction rates across the state vary depending on whether there's a local moratorium in place. For example, according to the Legal Services Corporation's eviction tracker, there have been about 35,000 evictions filed since the start of the pandemic in Harris County or the Houston area, which does not have a local moratorium, but just a little over 1,000 in Travis County, the Austin area, where there is a local moratorium intact. I have two pieces of statewide news to share. First, the Supreme Court of Texas extended the Texas Eviction Diversion Program, which was originally set to expire on July 27th through October 1st. And so with $171 million in CARES Act funding, the program offers an alternative to eviction if both the tenant and the landlord agreed to participate, and provides up to 15 months of rental and utility assistance. So this is some good news. And second, the Supreme Court of Texas also released an emergency order about 2 weeks ago that mandates that judges must abate for 60 days eviction cases in which either the plaintiff has a pending application for rental assistance, or if the plaintiff and defendant both express interest in participating in the Texas Eviction Diversion Program. And so at Texas HoUSed, we were excited to hear about this because our Harris County court watchers have seen many tenants with pending applications for assistance be evicted before their application has been given sufficient time to be approved, given long program wait times. And so the past couple of weeks, we've been putting up pressure on the courts to make sure they abide by this emergency order and abate these cases by the full 60 days. So in summary, the state of Texas appears to be distributing ERA funds at a comparatively high rate in relation to other states. But based on our direct work with tenants who have waited months to be approved for assistance and what we're seeing in the courtroom, we don't believe it's operating fast enough to prevent a wave of evictions from occurring in the coming weeks with the lifting of the CDC moratorium. And although the extension of the Texas Eviction Diversion Program and the recent emergency order are steps in the right direction for the state of Texas, they're not enough to offer complete protection against eviction. So we're really hoping to see local jurisdictions step up to the plate and take action to keep people housed in their own communities. That is it for me. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Erin. We do have one question that came in for you, Erin. The question is, do you have a sense of what separates those local areas spending quickly from those spending less?
Yes, Texas HoUSed actually just released a couple weeks ago a report that evaluates the progress of local ERA programs in Texas. I can drop a link to that in the chat after this, but there's definitely something to say about streamlining applications And so we compared programs that, for instance, the city of Arlington had multiple documents that were required. I think it was like 13. And then San Antonio provided a list of just a range of documents and allowed for self-attestation. And so I'll be speaking on the Erase webinar on Wednesday about streamlining applications for some more strategies for how to do that to get the funds out quickly.
That's great. Thank you, Erin. And if you also can stay around, there may be other questions that come through. If you can answer those, that would be fantastic. But thank you so much for sharing all of that great information with us, Erin.